Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this month's episode of the Recce Report. Hello there. Welcome to the Recce Report. My name is Russ, former British Army warrant officer.
My name's Cliff, former British Army corporal. I'm on a very dodgy comms link at the moment. I'm that far south and that far east. I could effectively be in the Netherlands, but I'm not.
Right. I'm ex-Royal Signals, mate, so I don't do communications at all.
Yeah, my answer to communications is hit it harder. It should work. Right, folks, we are living in dangerous times. We are living in absolutely dangerous times. And I say that because on the way down through England on Saturday there, I went down the M6, and some of you may have been hearing reports of the Union flag and the flag of St. George being splattered all over the overpasses and bridges on the motorways and stuff like that. I counted 12 bridges with them on, each with two flags each way, and they're so identically placed. It's the same person or the same group that are doing it, and I wouldn't imagine that they don't number anything more than 4 in a dodgy transit van. They'll probably call themselves the North of England Fascist Brigade or something like that, because they love attaching military titles to their cowardly little ways. And let's face it, they are nothing but the dregs of humanity, these people.
And I had to think about this, Cliff, because obviously, there's a group of people within the independence movement, that put salt tires on bridges and things like that for people to wait by. And I was thinking, am I being unduly harsh? Because if we are doing it, what's from them doing it? And the truth is, the independence movement is by its very nature inclusive. It's inclusive of anyone that believes in independence. The display of the St. George's Cross and the Union flag, unfortunately, it's exclusionary. It's all about that little England mentality. Shut the borders, stop the boat, stop everyone coming in. Whereas the salt tire is like, come to Scotland, help us be better.
Yeah,
and I think that's the difference.
Yes, absolutely. You've nailed it. Yeah, and if anybody out there is wondering how to pitch that sort of backhand back to the Nazis when they come online saying about you fly your flag, then that's the perfect answer to give them. We are inclusive, and not, as I said in my post the other day, exclusive. I hate predictive text.
We just hate Westminster. Not everyone that's not pale and white, pale and stale.
We despise the government that rules over us, and that is what we do. And I keep reminding people that I'm myself half English, but my dad was English, half my family English, and I've got some very good friends that are English. I am not anti-English. I hate fascism with a passion. Hence the reason some of the posts I've been putting up on our page has been fair and squarely aimed at what's happening with the right wing, the extreme. Well, as the right wing now, they've taken over the right wing. I mean, Farage, his threat that he is going to leave the European Convention on Human Rights when he gets into power. Well, it's a hollow threat. Let's get this one through, because the rights for the ECHR rights are enshrined in the 1998 Human Rights Act, as passed as an act of Parliament, UK Parliament.
And Britain was instrumental in setting up the European Court of Human Rights.
Yeah, Churchill was heavily involved in that, and it was to stop another Auschwitz.
Yeah,
let's be honest here.
Yeah, absolutely was. That was the point.
Bergen-Belsen, to stop those things happening. Yeah, and Farage is already harping on that. He'll get these people into camps. Why is that, Farage? To concentrate them. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what they did. I know
Yeah.
the Brits invented the concentration camps. They did in the
Boer
Boer War.
War, yeah.
And the death toll in those camps was horrendous, mostly from neglect and smallpox. Yeah, so yeah, Farage has already had to backtrack on his 2 weeks. He'll stop the boats
Yeah.
in 2 weeks because he
Yeah.
knows he won't be able to do it. Yeah,
We're
he's
sleepwalking into
willing
it,
to
mate.
do a deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's willing to do a deal with the freaking Taliban.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
Yeah,
do the Americans
definitely.
feel about that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
ridiculous. We're sleepwalking into it, mate. And I know we're going to mention this anyway, but the resignation of the Labour deputy leader because of this stamp duty fiasco. It's the same old political games. It's not about policy. It's about finding these little nitpicky things. Don't get me wrong; she shouldn't have done it, but you've got people like Farage who's still getting his EU pension. Don't forget. um, who put his second house, I think, in his wife's name, so that he didn't have to pay for that, or his sister, however it worked. Um, and all I seen was the usual commentators, but Laura Kuenssberg, the various BBC type saying, "This is a gift to reform." Well, it's not, because they're just advertising. It's free advertising for them.
yeah,
It maybe makes good headlines, but you're getting it. And what I'm saying, I said to you before, I'm seeing this exclusionary rhetoric coming from people that I previously respected. That
yeah,
aspect of, like, of condemning people because of the color of the skin or where they come from, because that's
yeah,
what they're saying now. That's what's being fed to them through their social media algorithms, through the mainstream media. And even they spend big bucks on YouTube and TikTok and all these sort of things to make sure that that's put in front of people.
yeah,
And the beauty of propaganda, mate, is that if you know it's happening, it's not working.
yeah, and that's where me, you, and others like us need to. Well, we're not. Me and you are not shy in raising our heads above the parapet, are we? We will call out things for what they are, regardless of who's saying them. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, but we've got some idiot on the chat, mate. Somebody's David C. Leave the ECHR with immediate effect and give Scotland real independence. Yeah, because
Right.
not having human rights sounds a lot like independence, mate, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But
See,
what does not
because
having human rights make us independent of?
yeah,
Yeah, you're a moron.
yes, that's a pathetic statement. Because getting back to that, it's not just the human rights for the asylum seekers. Let's call them what they are. They keep using the word immigrants. Okay, the immigration system may be bust. All UK departments are bust.
Yeah.
Right?
For
They're so
free,
underfunded.
freedom from torture, freedom from
Yeah,
unlawful imprisonment. These
yeah.
are all.
It's
I mean, these should not be contentious ideas, mate.
yeah,
That people get due process.
yeah,
That you have these human rights. And
yep,
so when they were talking before, remember when the Tories were talking about having a British Bill of Human Rights? I'm like, well,
yeah,
what extra rights did we need in Britain that don't come under human rights?
yeah. Because when Farage
Are,
says he's,
are Britain more than human? British more than
yeah,
human?
when Farage says he's going to curtail the human rights, it's not just for the asylum seekers. It will have to be everybody. And then
Yeah.
what guarantees do we have that he will then bring in the safeguards that safeguard me and you and everybody else
Yeah.
having the right to vote?
Yeah.
Having the right to have an opinion and air an opinion. We don't have the right for anybody to listen to it
you're seeing it now. You're seeing it now in the Trumpian America. That aspect of due process. People are like, you've not seen much of the Proud Boys. Yeah, that's because they're all wearing ICE uniforms now. And he's already talking about doing something so that he can run again in 2028, or even cancel the election so there's no longer any future elections in America. And he would do it if he could get away with it. And the scary thing is there is a large number of people who want him to do that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're talking millions of people who would want him to do that. Yeah. So, people out there, you should be absolutely mortified about what Farage is.
Yeah.
Back on.
He's saying here the new Home Secretary Shamina Mahmood favours ID cards. Yeah, they're buying into the rhetoric.
Yeah,
they're kowtowing to this vocal right wing. To kind of, it's a race to the bottom.
Yes.
And that's why I'm saying, in Scotland, certainly the SNP, the governing party, have a chance to change that narrative and say, no, we're not playing by those rules anymore.
Yeah.
You're seeing it
Well,
now.
they should be doing it.
Your man Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, is effectively just doing the same as Trump's doing, and they're telling him it's juvenile and puerile. But why are you not saying the same thing to Trump?
Yeah, there's not much respect for the president of the United States in California, and that I can tell you from being on the ground there a couple of months back.
Well, California is one of the states that actually is a net contributor to the federal budget.
Yeah.
So it means they pay in way more than they take out.
Yeah. When you're looking at where the money is in the US, it's the West Coast and the East Coast.
Yeah.
Which is predominantly non-Trump voting areas.
It is, and the blue states pretty much subsidize the red states.
Yes,
that's kind of how it works. But we're already seeing it. You're already seeing people lose their jobs. People that voted for Trump lose their jobs, lose their health care, lose their benefits.
Which will happen here.
Yeah, of course it will. Absolutely will.
Yeah. Am I allowed to call fascists?
It is, mate, and that's the thing. There's they don't like it because it's true, but that's the thing. There's that the banality of evil. It's called. People that are bad don't see themselves as bad.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
They may be self-centered and selfish, but they don't see themselves as bad. And the reason we're sleepwalking into it, there's a psychological phenomenon known as the bystander effect.
Right.
And it's when you see an accident and people walk past and don't do anything, and you find yourself asking, why doesn't anyone do anything? Well, they're all, because everyone's saying the same thing. Why doesn't someone do anything? Because they expect someone else to do something. They firmly believe something should be done, just not by them. And we have to be aware of it. We can't be bystanders.
No, we can't. And me and you wouldn't be, right? We've been at this for far too long, and as a lot of people have, and we've invested too much time and effort for us just to sit back and meekly let the right wing, extreme right wing, take over our country. My father fought against the fascists, all the way from the start to finish of the Second World War.
Yeah, Mystery making a good point here. They don't either see themselves as bad or controlled. You're right. They don't. As I say, that's the insidiousness of propaganda. And we talked about this before. The truth is, you can't sit there and call yourself a progressive or a humanitarian if you think that the right is wrong about everything except that one thing you agree with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Because that means you're wrong. Yeah. What's more likely, that you're wrong about that one thing, or they're right about that one thing?
Yeah. It's
Occam's razor, mate. Simplest explanation is you're wrong. You're wrong about that one thing.
Yeah. It's these.
Here's a defense question for you, mate. Would you agree that an independent Norway would order Navy warships from Scotland?
Yeah, if we could build them. Yeah, because we are building them for Norway now. We have the facilities, and those, BAE Systems don't care where they build ships. Let's be honest. Okay, the Royal Navy might not take our ships built in Scotland, but BAE Systems operate all around the world. Yeah. So if they turned around and said, well, Scotland, we want you got the facilities there. We've priced them. You're the most economic. Build us these warships. Of course they would. They'd go to anywhere.
It's a weird thing as well. It's a weird hill to die on, that aspect of the British Navy, or the English Navy as it would be. Will only build ships in the UK, and you're like, but you buy aircraft from other countries. You buy ships from other countries that are not warships. You buy tanks and guns and everything from all around the globe. Why is it such a weird patriotic decision to only build warships in the UK?
I think it goes down to
bizarre.
It goes down to where a lot of the warships are built, or where huge parts of the warships are built, because they're all built in sections these days. Yeah, and it's the Clyde and then put together at Rosyth. So they don't want to be seen as being positive, that Scotland has a positive building programme that could quite easily, well, not quite easily, but with dedication from our people in government, could then go around the world saying, look, we can build a ship here, give us the contract. Type of thing.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
then they label it, oh, what about the ferries? Oh, grief. Yeah. Yes. What about it? Come on, tell me about the ferries. Give me the story about the ferries.
Honestly,
wake me
mate,
up when you're finished.
it is. But it's that. I say it's falling into that same trap of letting them dictate the narrative.
Yeah.
You know, say what you like about Trump, but he never answers the question he's asked.
No.
He answers the question he wants to answer.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, but you came across with this about 3 shows ago. You said maybe we need to do that, and I'm in total agreement with you. Yeah, let's not get bogged down, because they're going to come at us about pensions, they're going to come at us about currency, and they're going to come at us about defence. So bloody what? Yeah, are you trying to tell me that we're the only country on this planet that couldn't afford a couldn't have a currency?
You can't. You can't follow the rules, mate. You can't let them dictate. You know, these, you know, the whole civilized debate thing that went on. No more. He was going to say, no, I'm not even going to appear.
Yeah.
You know, this is my message. I think that the Labour or the Tories did it in a recent election where their guy did no interviews whatsoever and still got elected. Remember that? I mean, he's been kicked out now, I think, but...
Yeah. Has he been kicked out, or has he gone defected to Reform?
I can't remember.
Did you catch that? Completely unawares. Oh, here we go.
What are your answers? Re currency and defence, then?
Yes, we will have a currency. What will it be called? Don't care. They can call it the Groat for all I care. Will we have a defence force? Yes, we will have a defence force, because every other country can have it. There's your answers, Kenny. Off you go.
Yeah, that's it, Kenny. There's your answer. Yes, we'll have a currency, and yes, we'll have a defence force. What's so difficult about that?
Yeah, not difficult.
Thanks, mate. Job on.
Bye. Yeah. See the old girl that was Boris Johnson's fangirl. Nearly said a bad thing there. Boris Johnson's fangirl is now defected to be Farage's fangirl.
Hang on, Kenny. Did you not just hear us say a minute ago? We're not playing your game, mate.
Yeah.
Right.
Off you go. Off you pop.
Right. If you don't believe in Scotland, that's fine. We do. Thanks for playing.
Yeah. Bye. He'll be racing his little flag.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Everyone loves a try.
But that's it. But that's what they do. They have to nip away. You know, and here's the thing. And I don't want to diminish Kenny's thorough research of the subject here, which is obviously taking place. But most of the people that ask these questions don't even know how it works.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. They've heard it. They've heard it said, and they just regurgitate it.
Yeah. It's like this thing about Farage. Yes, he's taking us out the ECHR. Yay! So that's the 1998 Human Rights Act UK. That's the 2017 Welsh Act, 2017 Northern Irish Act, the Good Friday Agreement, the 1998 Scottish Act, and every single trade agreement we've got with the EU, null and void.
Yeah.
That's what that would cause. Right?
Yeah.
Because this person here has actually read up on the subject.
Yeah. And they found that as well. You know, the whole reason that Northern Ireland has different rules for exports and stuff is because the Good Friday Agreement was predicated on EU membership.
Yes. Yeah.
So they can't rip them out because no one wants to rip up the Good Friday Agreement. No one wants to go back to those halcyon days of the 70s and 80s and mid 90s when it was all fun and games, mate.
Yeah.
With our cousins across the Irish Sea. So
yes. Nothing back from Kenny. Is he going off in the huff now?
I don't know. He's trying to be facetious. I'm not even going to highlight him now, mate.
Yeah.
You've had your moment in the spotlight, Kenny. Thanks.
Yeah. You've had your 2.5 seconds in the limelight. Anyway, so Yes, so they're always on about Farage and Co. On about how much the asylum seekers are costing the UK. The biggest drain on UK departmental cost is actually the illegal drugs trade. It outstrips the asylum seekers. So why isn't Farage and his Nazis of the right that we see on the streets outside the asylum hotels in Falkirk? And I've seen a group down where I am in England here as well, and I don't think they are appreciative of what I did through my window. But hey ho. So why aren't they naming and shaming the drug barons? Why aren't they naming and shaming where the illegal chemistry labs are? You know, is it anything to do with maybe they'll get beat up themselves? Because you know we all know what the Nazis are like. They're cowards. They like to identify.
Definitely. You know, the two biggest threats, as you say, in this country, at one end is the illegal drugs trade, and that level of crime, and you know the tax avoidance, tax evasion from the corporations and the millionaires and the billionaires. And it's easy. You point at the people that have nothing and blame them.
Yes.
You know, and you know, and I heard the phrase, and it was brilliant. You know, it's not the people in small boats that are causing the problems; it's the people in the big yachts.
Yes. Yeah. Just to underline that tax evasion is illegal, tax avoidance is loopholes. That invariably, if you're too aggressive at doing tax avoidance, HMRC will actually get maybe tap your door. So anybody that we might say is avoiding paying the correct amount of tax is not doing anything illegal under the legal code. Morally, they are as corrupt as hell. We cannot have politicians stand up saying that the problem with this country is people coming across inflatable boats or single parents sitting on council estates with 50-inch plasma TVs. They are not the problem. The problem is because most of those people in power, regardless of what house they sit in, and all the way up to the family that sit in Buckingham Palace, do not pay the correct amount of tax. Now, the royal family, the sovereign is supposed to pay tax. And it's always announced, they have paid tax. A, they don't say how much, and B, they don't say, are they continuing to pay it? There are two duchies that should be in public control, the Duchy of Lancaster and Duchy of Cornwall, that are still in private hands. One goes to the monarch, that's the Duchy of Lancaster. The other goes to the prince, the monarch in waiting, right? That's the Duchy of Cornwall. Both last figures got generated £22 million. That's £22 million into the individual coffers, not to the UK coffers.
It happens, mate. Who was the guy, the duke that inherited his father's estate, and it was something like, you know, either a couple of billion or 350 million or something.
Well, probably the Westminster, is it? Duke of Westminster.
And because it was put in a trust, and for those of you that don't know how that works, you set up a trust. It's like a little company, and you sign over your house and all your belongings to the trust, right? So when you die, you're not passing on your house and all your belongings. You're passing on ownership of the trust, which is just a bit of paper. So you pay nothing in inheritance tax. You know, maybe that's where the farmers are mucking it up. Maybe they need to put their farms in trust, mate, and that's how they do it. But don't forget, people like Clarkson said at the time he only bought the farm to avoid inheritance tax.
Yeah. And as much as I don't like him, you know, he does come out with some truthisms eventually. Yes. So tax avoidance, folks. Why aren't we naming and shaming all those people that are doing it? Because it's become an accepted policy. It's become accepted that if you are in such a position to be able to do that, then it's what everybody does. Because the system was set up by the very people who want to do the tax avoidance.
And you see it, you know, and you see it on the media as well. You know, the poverty porn, as we call it. You know, they can't pay, we'll take it away. You know, all these people, you know, cops and all that. The truth is, it's not the bloke who's claiming to have a bad back to get a couple of £100 a month from the DSS that's costing this country money. It's your Amazons, you know, and your Microsofts and all these big companies that are getting backhanders and dodgy deals from the government to say, you know, to reduce the tax bill. and funneling it all offshore or into the pockets of the Bezoses and the Gates.
Yes.
If people put their fair share, I think at one point was it that Rees-Mogg's I think Rees-Mogg's nanny paid more tax than he did.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the system is set up by the Rees-Moggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not individually, but that type of person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're only going to set up a tax system that benefits them. They couldn't care about us to do the pay as you earn. Yeah, they don't care about us.
Yeah.
They only need us to fight their damn wars.
Yeah, that's
And
absolutely
as
it, mate.
people may understand that I'm on a bit of a high horse tonight. Because Farage is really annoying me, and what's really annoying me, probably more than that, is as Russ has said earlier, we are sleepwalking into fascism. Ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing short of what was going on in Germany in the 1930s.
Yeah, there was a feeling that somebody else would do something, some defender or some figurehead would stand up and it would all come crumbling down. And he's just saying with Trump, and the Democrats in America are doing the same. They're trying to play by the same rules. Certainly, Gavin Newsom's kind of trying to switch it up a little bit, but you can't play by the rules. You can't play by the rules if the other side is not playing by the rules.
Yes, those days are gone.
Yeah, you can't do
it for the next election. Bearing in mind we have got 241 days before we vote in the next parliamentary election in Scotland. We can't play by the old rules. Those days are gone. If we get a right vote and we get an independent supporting government back in, then maybe we might be able to rein in things. But those people themselves then have got to hit the ground running. Yeah, we're politicians that support independence need to be as vocal as what me and you are, Russ.
Yeah, it's going to happen, mate. And I think sooner rather than later. And and if we are going to have another independence referendum, it's going to happen, within the first year of the next Scottish Parliament election. I think so. It's going to be shoehorned in. Otherwise, we're just going to see the remnants of what's left of Scotland after your Trumps and your Farages and your Tommy Robinsons and all that sort of stuff have turned the whole of the UK into a bloody cesspit of bigotry and intolerance.
And I don't think there's anybody in Scotland of fair mind would like to see that happen.
Mr. E's made a donation. I'm assuming that goes to Kev IN, the man behind the whole of the Independence Live thing. Mr. E, thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Thank you. That's much appreciated.
You're a gent and a scholar.
Yeah. Cheers. Have you noticed the time, buddy?
I do, mate. We've had 28 minutes of solid ranting and some good comments. We like comments. We like comments because we can react to them. They're always good. They keep it interesting.
Yeah, right. The reason I'm laughing so much, guys, is me and Russ do actually do a sort of pre-program chat to each other a couple of days before we come on, and we get a running order set up. I'd never stick to it. This is episode 40. I don't think we've ever stuck to it yet.
Agenda? What's that?
I don't know. Some other people.
Something that goes there just flies by as we crack on. But thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch two old duffers sprout their inane opinions. I'd like to think they are considered and educated opinions. You may well differ, but that's up to you. But we do think about these things. And the truth is now, it's been what, 11 years since the independence referendum. We're both older, not necessarily wiser. We're campaigning now for our kids and our grandkids.
Yeah. Absolutely. Totally agree with that, Russ. 100%, buddy.
Yeah.
Right. I was just
thank you so much.
Echo Russ's comments there. It's always a pleasure doing these shows. It's always quite humbling to think that people are actually listening to us as well. Whether you agree with us or don't agree with us is absolutely what we come on to do. Me and Russ are never scared about raising our heads above the parapet or taking an open mic. What we don't do is what the Reform did is get on the stage with a neo-Nazi and take the mic off and share a stage with that. In fact, I've gone out of my way not to share a stage with people I would call fundamentalists. And I don't care if they're right, left, or religious on that one. I will not share a stage. But then I guess me and Russ have got morals. Those type of people don't have morals. Yeah.
Yeah. I am not tolerant of intolerance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't be
Absolutely.
done. No. But thank you, everyone. We will see you again on the second Monday of next month. Feel free to tune in. Please rehearse. If you don't agree with us, please rehearse your arguments. And we might respond. You never know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. How's it go, Cliff?
Yeah, our future is bright, folks. Independence is so right. Thank you very much.
Take care, everyone. Sir Alba.
Yeah.